Hello and welcome to Chuck's Culture Channel on YouTube. And this time around, I'm talking with jazz and cabaret singer Jonathan Karrant. He's currently on a USA tour. Jonathan appeared at the Dark Room here in St. Louis last December, and on February 11th, 2023, he'll be back here with his show Songs of the Heart, a Valentine's celebration, this time at the Blue Strawberry. You'll find a ticket link in the video description below. After that, it's off to other venues around the country. Check out his website in the video description to find out more, and check out the performance videos on his YouTube channel. I have also provided a link to his Spotify profile where you can stream his albums. Speaking of video, here's Jonathan with the jazz and cabaret standard Nature Boy, with Jason Corpus on piano, David Ostrom on bass, and Paul Ringenbach on drums. It was recorded in January of 2022 at the Smith Center for Performing Arts in Las Vegas.
There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shine, sad of eye, but oh so wise, oh so wise was he. Then one day, one magic day, he came my way, and though we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing that you will ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Is just to love and be loved and be loved and be loved in return. Is just to love and be loved.
Okay, well, there we had, that's a jazz classic, Nature Boy. And with me here on Chuck's Culture Channel, the man you just saw singing that, Jonathan Karrant. Jonathan, welcome to Chuck's Culture Channel.
Thank you so much for having me.
And as I said in my intro, one of the reasons we're talking to you right now is that you're going to be here in St. Louis at the place just behind me here, the Blue Strawberry.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, it's a collection of love songs, but it's not going to be all sappy love songs like a typical Valentine's Day show. I mean, I give the single people a shout out, and the show kind of goes through different types of love. So, you know, the loss of love, whether it be, you know, through a breakup or whatever. So, yeah, something for everyone.
Yeah, reminds me of something Steve Ross once said. He said there are 4 kinds of love songs: I was in love, I am in love, I want to be in love, and New York, New York. So,
there you go.
I assume you're not doing New York, New York, but
no, not that night.
Not that night. Yes. But okay, so it is a love song show, but it's the various aspects of love, which
right.
is like rubber musical, but anyway.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about how you get into jazz, because I was looking at your background on your website, which people can see in the video description field down here on YouTube, and you have quite a background in music. I mean, your family were interested in the arts, and your mom was, I'm trying to remember now, she was a dancer. Am I remembering that right? Or,
yes,
yeah.
ballet studio, yeah.
Yeah. And you started singing practically out of the cradle. as I understand.
Yes, pretty young. Yeah, and I started getting involved in a lot of things in town pretty young, whether it be musical things or acting,
Mhm.
different commercials or different plays. So yeah, the stage was easy for me to jump on to. It never felt, you know, scary because I guess, with also with the dance recitals, I was already, doing those as a young stage or whenever they needed a
Yeah.
boy. you know, I filled in the boy spot. So
Yeah. So you did musical theater. You people may not know this, but you sang compromario roles with the Met for a little while. Uh,
yes,
what was
yeah.
that like? Because that's very different.
So I just moved to New York from Arkansas to study at the William S. Burr Arts Academy, and during that time, I got work at the Met, and it was a whole different, ball game coming from Portsmouth, Arkansas, because it was
Yeah.
so professional and such a grand scale of production. We had our own cafeteria in the basement. I mean, it was just pretty extraordinary, to be rushed into that major production.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a very different type of singing too.
Yes, yeah. It is. For me, being a Gemini and being, a love of jazz, too structured for me, but I don't, often sing the same thing twice. So, or the same way. So, um, yeah, I love the freedom that jazz gives you.
Yeah, you just sort of answered what was going to be my next question, which is how you ended up in jazz as opposed to musical theater or something like that. But I think you just told us.
Yeah, well, as a kid, my parents listened to a lot of like Motown and the great oldies, and my grandparents listened to more of the like Sinatra and Tony Bennett and Shirley Bassey and Nancy Wilson and different people like that. So I kind of picked it up there a little bit, but was really just my ears and heart, I guess, were really attracted to it to where I just dug deep with it, and then I started turning my grandparents on to people that they weren't that familiar with. So um, it was always what I was drawn to. I always say that it kind of picked me more than me picking it. Um, and yeah, talking about the difference between cabaret and jazz, that's a big argument that a lot of people love to have. But I, depending on the material that I'm doing, some songs I love just jumping in and taking them wherever they go and playing with the time and playing with the melody. And then other songs, if it's something that's more has a more deep, meaningful lyric, then I really want to get that across more than anything. The storytelling of it, the acting of it, and the emotion that it can fill somebody with. Because I think that people aren't going to leave remembering your set list necessarily, but they'll
Mhm.
always remember how you made them feel.
Well, yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because, of course, you were a guest at our cabaret project open mic back in December here in St. Louis, and it struck me that you also do a lot of the things we tell people to do in cabaret. That is to say, you really know what the song means. You communicate the lyrics well, which a lot of jazz singers don't necessarily do. I mean, a lot of them, the emphasis is all on the music and
Right.
sort of less on the actual feeling and the lyric behind it. But what I was struck by was that you do both.
Yeah, and I think there's a handful of us, definitely. I think Ann Hampton Callaway can
Yes.
definitely stray more into the jazz world,
Hmm.
and then also, bring it back though into the cabaret world. So, you know, there's several that I could think of that can kind of do both, get the meaning across while still, uh, doing it maybe in a jazz sense.
Hmm.
A lot of people say that what makes a jazz singer is if they scat or not, which if that's your opinion, fine. I scat, but I do believe a little goes a long way, and And somebody like little Jimmy Scott, he didn't scat sing at all, but you know, he's definitely a jazz singer in the sense that he plays with melody, he plays with time,
Hmm.
you know, and you know, like I said, I think there's a time and place for it. So not every song needs to be, you know, a improvisational experiment. You know, you
Right.
want some of that playfulness, or at least I do, and then I want to bring it back into something that's gonna mean something that'll touch more than just wow, look what he can do. Wow, look at that story that he just gave us. It's
Hmm.
the fact that that meaning, you know, can wash over an audience, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's, you know, feeling, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. That, which is another song cue, but anyway, uh, the people who are watching this don't know, but I mentioned before we started recording that I have a T-shirt that says 80% of my brain is song lyrics, and that's a good example. Anyway,
Exactly, I know what you're talking about.
moving, but moving right
Everything's a
along.
segue to another song.
Yes, which does bring up one of your big hits was "Lady in Red," which is a Krista Berg song, but you again took your own take on that.
Right, you know, that I was playing at the Purple Room in Palm Springs,
Mhm.
and a fan came up to me afterward and said, "I'd love for you to record the song Lady in Red." And I went, "You mean I've never seen you?" You know, yes, that one. And I went, "Okay, I hate that song," is what I thought at first. Um, but he gave me his card and I gave him my information. And I thought, yeah, maybe that'll happen, maybe not. You know, people say all sorts of things to you after a show. But he came through with it and wanted to produce it, and we released it as a single. And you know, I had to re-listen to it because I'd never paid that much attention to it, and you know, find something that, you know, spoke to me in the song. And then, you know, it's really stuck in the 80s, the Krista DeBerg arrangement of it,
Mhm.
with all the synthesizer sounds, and the arrangement's just very 1980s. So I wanted to make it more timeless, maybe a little more sophisticated, while still keeping it to where, you know, everybody's going to recognize it, of course. So yeah, it's my number one song on Spotify. Who would have thought?
You never know what it's going to be. And you also had a notable number recently in your holiday album, right? It was the duet,
Yes, with Diane Shure.
right?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I listened to that. I listened to that recently, and that is just a killer performance of that song, I have to say.
well,
Between the two
thank
of you.
you. You know, I've always loved the meaning of the song.
Yeah, we should say it's my adult Christmas list.
Oh
Is the
yeah,
song.
yeah, we should let people know that. Yeah, my grown-up Christmas list written by David Foster. I've always loved the words and lyrics, but the arrangement itself that most people have done, like Natalie Cole, and it's very beautiful, but it just wasn't me. It almost had a Disney quality to it or
Mhm.
something. So when I sent it to Diane Shure, and she was so loving the lyrics and, you know, on board to do the duet with me. Um, you know, she's already this soul jazz singer, you know, so kind of wanted to emphasize that. And I thought, well, let's take it to church. So we put a gospel feel on it.
Mhm.
And then we get kind of sassy at the end as we riff and go back and forth. So such a timely song, you know, the meaning is so relevant. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to give it that extra punch, I guess, in kind of give it that spiritual groove. So it really came off great. I think I'm really proud of that, and so is Diane.
Yeah, I agree. You guys really rocked on that, and I liked it a lot. And people can hear that on your YouTube channel. You got a video of it, along with a lot of other videos of your performances. And I will be putting a link to that in the video description field here so people can see your YouTube channel. And I'm going to put a link to your stuff on Spotify down there and also to your website so everybody can know where you're going to be and when in the coming months.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're touring all over the place, even though you've got family here in St. Louis, and of course, people may not know that you're from Fort Smith, Arkansas originally. So you come a long way.
Yeah, I bounce around as much as possible.
That is great, Jonathan Karrant. I really wish you the best of luck in your career. You looks like you're really lighting things up right now. That's great. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to me here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And while we had the video paused, I was happy to meet your dog.
Yeah, she's right
Why don't
here.
you bring her up here? Let's see her. There she is. Oh my God.
Her name's Little Darlin, and she weighs 3.5 pounds.
Little Darlin is adorable. Thank you. Guest appearance on the Culture Channel by Little Darlin for the first time ever. Thanks very much. Okay, listen, tell your friends about Chuck's Culture Channel out there, folks. Spread the word on the social media and anti-social media, and just let everybody know I'm here. And by all means, check out Jonathan when he comes to St. Louis or a city near you. Check out his schedule. Guy's got a great voice, and I think you'll enjoy the show. Jonathan, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.